Welcome back to K24 Alpha Jura. I'm actually having such a wonderful time here. Chef Akshar has refused to dance with me. I mean, who refuses to dance with a lady? I've begged him to. Oh my goodness, you said no. Anyway, it's fine. We shall have this discussion after the show. All right, please just introduce yourself and tell us where you work.
Okay, so I'm 22 years old. I currently work for 7 Seafood.
All right.
I started my career when I was 14. I remember celebrating my 15th birthday 2 days after that. It was pretty weird because mainly a lot of my friends would ask me like, you're in school and you're tired. I'm
Exactly,
like,
yes.
but I work. And very few people started noticing that at night I'd go to work and come back immediately the next day for school.
Exactly.
And for me, it's more like, it's my career, it's my passion. And I wanted to get into all this before actually going to university for it.
Okay, so how do you juggle between these two? Because, you need to pay attention to, school, and then here you are a chef. How do you just make sure that the two don't collide?
It actually did collide at a point because my grades did drop. And I was asked a very serious question by my parents, like, what do you want to do in your life?
Exactly.
And I'm like, this is what I want to do. I wanted to play football. I couldn't because I had an eye problem. I wanted to do piloting. I couldn't because I didn't get the grades. So I'm like, I'm good in cooking. It's something I've been doing during my part-time.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I picked it there saying, I tell people, look, if you're not good in school, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you go and fail. But get your grades, but do what you love. Do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Because if you go and do, let's say, medicine or something, because your parents told you to, you're not going to enjoy it. You'll never enjoy it.
Exactly.
But you're doing something you love, so you'd go to work happy. Like, it's a Monday morning, you're like, I have work, let's go. But now you did something you don't like, you're like, it's Monday, I'm not going to work.
Who's going to wake up Monday blues? Yes, all right, okay, fine. And you have a TV show?
I have a TV show,
Tell us about that.
My TV show is actually called Make It or Bake It. We run it on YouTube now as well. It's actually a very local show. What she started was for me to get exposure. And slowly, I started getting on different celebrities to come feature on it. Not only to help promote them, but to promote me as well.
Okay. It's a YouTube show.
It's on YouTube.
All right, okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, all right.
You can catch it on YouTube. We used to be on TV, but we just pulled out because of finance. What we mainly do is we teach people cooking. I teach you nutrition, benefits. We have fun. We have so much fun on the show.
Exactly, yeah.
To the point, I remember, it's like one episode, I burned something. I'm like, it's burned.
It's okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it happens,
It
right?
happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. And you've actually chosen to specialize on seafood.
Yes.
Why seafood and not any other kind of...
What happened was, when I was growing up, back like my early days, like I think my first 2 months, I was into pastries. I was always doing pastries, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get into pastries. So I continued doing pastries. I got awards, certificates. I graduated in pastries. But then I got diabetic. And I'm like, okay, I cannot try all these things because it's going to affect my health.
Exactly, yeah.
And yes, there's a big demand, but my dream was to actually become an executive chef. And I met, I don't know, it's a very old chef called Barry Tonks. And he's like, Akshay, I'm going to tell you one thing. You will never become an executive unless you do something more. So I went abroad, I studied more, I came back, and I went to Mediterranean, and I'm like, you know what, I'm ready. And I won't lie, I was fired. I was thrown out of my job then. It was painful, but I learned something. So I met the owner for 7, and I'm like, look, this is what I've done. I want to learn more.
Exactly.
And he started teaching me the basics of seafood, and sooner or later I was opening, reading books, YouTube, and I picked up seafood a lot. And I came to realize seafood is very delicate, and not a lot of people can handle them well.
Exactly. So you, being a chef, have you used your position to create awareness on diabetes? Because this is something that you're actually going through as well, right?
I try to. I try to reach out to people as like my friends and that. I'd make small jokes like, you guys have too much sugar, you have too much this. But the thing is, me being a diabetic, I don't really listen to that. Because I see a piece of cake, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try that. I go out for a meal, I have food, we're chilling. They're like, Ash, what do you want? I'm like, I'm having dessert. And they'll all look like, but aren't you diabetic?
Yeah.
And I came to realize, but because I'm diabetic doesn't mean I'm going to change what I eat, what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be more cautious on what I eat.
All right. But you know what I like about you, apart from the fact that you have refused to dance with me, which I'm still very mad. Anyway, I like the fact that you're very honest, right? And today we are about to get very fancy because he's going to be making for us caviar and salmon, right?
Yes.
Take it away. Let's do this.
So over here I actually have smoked salmon. The good thing with salmon is it's actually, I was told actually it's not salmon. I used to say salmon, but I have a friend and she's like, actually it's not pronounced salmon. There's no L. I'm like, but
Salmon.
it's written there.
All
There
right.
is an L. And she said in the English dictionary there's no L. And I'm like, okay, fine, it's salmon. So I kept saying salmon, 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 and for me it got stuck in my head. So one thing I really like with salmon is that it's one of the only fish you can have raw. As well, you can cook it.
All right.
Depending on your taste.
Okay. So we're not going to cook that.
No, we're
Right,
actually, I prefer having my salmon raw because it's like steak. You overcook it, you get it well done. You're not going to taste the flavors. You're not going to get any of the juices.
All right, yeah.
The same way I look at fish, like the ones you can eat raw, eat them raw. Don't go cook them and blend and then like, it tastes like rubber. And I've had
Yeah,
people
very
who
true.
actually complain to me that it tastes like rubber.
Yeah, yeah. So, so we're gonna. So you're just going to slice that,
I'm
right?
going to slice this,
Okay.
and over here I made a creme fraiche. Creme fraiche is technically, it's like bechamel sauce, which is a white sauce in layman's term. But mine, I'm going to put a bit of salmon, and I'm going to add caviar and truffle in it.
All right.
Then I'll mix it with some spaghetti. The thing is, this meal can be a starter,
Okay.
a cold starter, or it can be a hot appetizer.
All right. Perfect. Let's do that because I'm really excited to, you know, just to see how the end results are going to look like. Also, can we just talk about that arrangement over there as you're doing that?
Okay, technically over here I have like, I have, okay, I'm going to put salmon. Over here I have actually all the kind of knives, but you notice I don't have any knives which you use in a pastry section.
Exactly, yeah, very true.
The thing is, when I was doing pastries, I had a very nice palette knife, but then I'm like, if I'm going to move off and do a different career, I don't need to keep using a palette knife because that's not really what I'd enjoy doing. So I ended up getting a lot of knives. I can actually explain a few of them. Like the one I'm using now, this is called a santoku.
All right.
Santoku is a Japanese
Santoku.
knife.
All right.
Okay. Santoku means to slice and mince.
All
and
right.
I have 3 varieties in different sizes. Mainly because I like, if you notice the shape of this blade, it comes straight down. While
Yeah.
if you look at the other ones I have, it's not as straight as the other
yes,
ones.
yes, very true.
The reason being, Japanese don't believe in slicing this way. They rather just tap.
Yeah.
And I got used to it doing this quite a lot. So for me, it's better. As well, I have something which is very rare to get. I got it from a very old friend of mine. He's a chef. This is what we call the Japanese filleting knife. A Japanese filleting knife, it's very prestigious. Mine's pretty dirty because Japanese believe you don't wash their knives because it's like killing it.
Okay, so how do you keep the hygiene in the kitchen?
We wipe it.
All right, okay.
With a hot rag.
Okay.
So every time I use it, I wipe it.
All right.
Thing with filleting knives, they're meant to be flexible, but Japanese didn't believe in having it flexible, but rather to be extremely straight.
Yeah.
So you can easily cut through the fish or the meat without having issues.
All right. Perfect. And that looks very expensive, by the way.
It actually, from my whole set, it is the most expensive knife I have.
Wow.
So at times when I'm opening my knife kit and I see someone come and take it, I'm
Yeah.
like, don't break it.
Don't take it.
Don't break it. You could use it, but don't break it.
All right.
And it did break from the handle, so I took a bit of super glue and I'm like, stick.
Yeah.
Please stick.
All right. So let's get back to this.
Okay, so over here I have caviar, but 2 different types actually.
Can you tell us the difference between these two?
This is red. Red caviar actually comes from salmon. It is not that expensive compared to the black, which comes from a surgeon. Black caviar is more expensive because surgeons are getting extinct. Because people now are actually breeding them artificially, not getting them freshly from the lakes, from the seas to get this. Caviar is actually, I can actually describe like what caviar is. For those who don't know, caviar is actually fish eggs. Okay, and it is very, 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 very expensive.
Yeah. So these are very tiny
very tiny fish eggs, which
Fish eggs, yeah.
before they hatch, it's a very sad process. They cut the mother, they remove the eggs, and then it's left in salt. It's left to dry in salt.
Yeah.
And because it's, you could literally get this much caviar from 2 fish. That's why the price is very high.
Wow, yeah, yeah.
Which, to get this thing, they must have got like 6 to 7 of them, or even more.
Yes.
Because at times you will open up the fish and the caviar are either broken, some of them are actually starting to hatch. Well, the salmon caviar is not that expensive because salmon it's a common fish.
All right.
But in Kenya, it is pretty expensive because it's all imported. We don't have salmon here. Apparently, there was a person, well, it was rumors that we heard in the culinary world that someone was breeding them back in Nanyuki. But no one has actually gone to check if it's true or not. We're hoping it is, because if it is, our prices do come down.
Good. Yeah, very true.
Because now you'd get a small piece like what I just have for 1,500 shillings. A tin of caviar is 1,500 shillings.
All right.
But if they bring it here and they breed it here, you get your caviar from here, at least the prices for us would drop. Maybe we get it at 1,000 bob. So you do save that 500.
Yeah, yeah, very true. So which one are we going to be using today?
I'm actually going to, because it's salmon, I'm going to mix both.
Okay,
because both of them have a different taste to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to actually be adding a bit of truffle oil.
Okay.
For those who don't know what truffles is, it's not those tiny chocolates. They say, oh, I want a chocolate. It's not. Truffle is a type of mushroom which is actually grown in France and Italy. And it is the most expensive ingredient in the world, after saffron. The thing is, to get truffle, it's not like, here's a mushroom, let's pick it. No, you need a pig. You need a highly trained pig to actually sniff it out for you, to pick it up for you. And once you do that, you can get the thing, and it's like a nutmeg. So you don't cook it or anything, you have to grate it. And using the oil, it's pretty cheaper, it's pretty better. I actually got this here in Kenya though. So
oh, wow, okay.
you can find it around, a lot of people can use it. Okay, so I'll be adding a bit of the black.
All right.
See, with caviar, you can't actually add a lot, because what happens is that it's too strong, the taste. You'll end up tasting a lot of that oily fish taste. So, just going to mix this up a bit. You can actually smell the caviar.
Oh, yes, I can. It smells really, really good, yeah. All right.
The thing is, not a lot of people have had caviar or...
I know, it's very fancy. You know, this is not something that you will take on a daily basis, right?
I wouldn't do this on a daily basis.
Okay. So we have 4 minutes, so we really need to wind up. Okay. So we're going to, that's the pasta?
Yeah, because with the caviar, the taste is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So...
Shiro, you better come here because, wow, this this looks really nice, and I'm sure you're also itching and waiting. The test buds are just there calling out your name.
So you have 2 different kinds of caviar, right?
2 different types of caviar.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drizzle a bit of truffle oil.
Okay.
Ooh, fancy, so fancy.
That looks really good. Let me clear this up so that the cameras can be able to see exactly what's going on.
Ooh,
Damn.
bam.
That looks really, really good.
Really good.
Yeah. So how much does a plate like this cost? Because I'm sure it's quite expensive.
We charge it actually at a restaurant, it would be around 3,500. But if you're buying the ingredients yourself, it's actually more, because caviar is 1,500. Then you have salmon, which is around 1,500, so that's already 3,000. Then pasta and the sauces, like, to make the creme fraiche and all that counts in. So for us, it's like 4,000, but we don't charge you at that 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000, all right.
Because someone will come in, you're charging me 4,000 for a pasta, but they don't realize the effort we put in it.
All right. So,
And a lot of people are wondering, what is caviar?
Caviar is fish eggs.
yeah,
told you.
he just did explain it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. And maybe lastly, what do you down this with?
I would actually have that with wine or champagne.
All right.
Oh, champagne. You know, now that you're being
Champagne
fancy, we might as well go all the way.
Go all the way.
Yes, commit.
It's Easter. Go make stuff for your loved one.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. caviar and salmon. Thank you so much for joining us today. What a wonderful show. Vicky was in the building. We had the Kenya TV and film marketers team in the building. And finally, we have this amazing meal that we have to eat right now.
Victoria Kimani was here.
Yeah, Vicky was in the building, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us. We shall see you again Monday, 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning as usual. Bye-bye from me. I have been your host, Sarah Daniel Teshna.
And I'm sure Marioki will see you on Monday. Yum.
She got big dreams. She see herself on the big screen. She asks, do you love me? I say you're just right. Absolutely, I love you just the way you are, girl. You don't have to change. You don't have to do a thing. No, just the way you are, girl. If you put on a powder, if you take off a powder, just the way you are, girl. Mabinti walinichanganya Nairobi